don't believe you people.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Huh? You people!
You people.
You people.
You people that walk around with one blind eye.
You people.
You people that are knocking down Niagara Falls.
You people who destroy our city.
You people that are lying.
People. You people.
You people that would rather do drugs,
You
drink,
people.
steal, rob.
You people. You people.
You people.
You people.
It's time for you to go.
You people.
You people.
You people. You people.
You people. You people. Get the fuck out of this city and go ruin someone else's.
You people have been chosen to reveal our existence to the world.
Welcome to the edge of the falls.
Right, here we go.
Welcome to the edge of the falls. You people, that's right, you people, have been chosen to reveal our existence to the world. I'm Brett Byro, a.k.a. the Madman, and you know what? I'm a little bit pissed off tonight, and we're going to talk about that.
I think we should. I'm pissed off, too.
Who are you?
I'm Renee Zeno. Nice to see y'all.
You got to say hi to
Y'all.
Renee Zeno. She's going to be sitting here, and our new co-host, joining me. And as soon as Peter gets back, because he's running around doing all the programming, getting our show ready, we're joined by a couple other people, and we'll get to that in a minute. Anyways, in the meantime, I hope you guys watched some of the videos that we had shown on our Edge of the Falls Facebook page. If you've seen that little fiasco that we went to Saturday, and oh my gosh, and again, we'll get into that a little bit later. I see that people are joining. Maybe you know what, all you fair weathered Bills fans, kiss my ass, because guess what, go Bills. We still love them.
I don't. Nah.
What
I've written
did
out
I
the
say?
Bills.
I think Renee is trying to leave the show really fast.
No more NFL for me, sorry.
Okay, I get it.
Or is it BLM?
I forget. I get it. Anyway, so tonight we are joined by a couple of people. As promised, we're going to have a little cage match here.
Don't give it
away.
All right, Peter's sitting down now. Who are you?
All right, so who am I? I am the Mystic. I am Peter Green, champion of idiots.
And together we are
the Edge of the Falls. Hey, this is great. Good to see you guys tonight. And we do have two wonderful guests in studio, plus John Spanbauer, so it's great. No, it's great. We tease everyone, but we're really glad that he came out. We've got some good dialogue coming. I guess we should show what they look like, right?
Sure.
Okay,
we'll let them introduce themselves now. You already called them out, right?
Oh, yeah. Right. I always call everyone out. Here we go. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, ready for tonight's match. And why don't you introduce yourselves, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, Tim, you start off.
Well, my name is Tim. I'm your Huckleberry Heater.
Huckleberry Heater.
And my name is John Spanbauer. I'm a first-year councilman for the city of Niagara Falls, so I'm a rookie at this political game
Rookie
here.
of the year.
John,
And together you are.
John,
Together
just to clear
cage
the air,
match.
you are a lifelong resident of Niagara Falls, correct?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I lived in the Niagara Falls all my life, grew up on 20th and LaSalle Avenue, decided to run for city council in February of 2019. It was a last-minute decision. I was just kind of frustrated with the direction the city was going in, and there was a few things I got involved in. Started going to city council meetings, didn't like some of the votes that I saw, and I decided to try to I retired from Niagara University after a 30-year career there, so I had time to give back to the community, and I thought doing something with the city council might be my best way to help the city of Niagara Falls.
How's that working out for you?
I doubt it sometimes. I will be very honest. Sometimes I think I would have been better. And I've talked to Heuther Scott a couple times about this. I almost think sometimes you can do more as a community advocate than as a politician to help this community out. And not that I'm not going to do my best as a city council person, but I question if I sometimes couldn't do more like an Heuther Scott in the community right now, what he does with the peacemakers and the event he does. I think he's doing more for the community now than when he was in city council.
Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit too, and not that I am against the peacemakers or anything like that at all. I know they had a little bit of shit shined down on them with the child molester amongst the ranks, but they acted swiftly and got removed him really fast. I think that's the thing.
Nobody had any idea until that individual went on Steve Wilko's show.
Right. What an idiot. Oh, guys, Peter, me and you were talking about this. Who the hell would go on Steve Wilko's show knowing damn well you're lying and that you're going to get caught, and yet they do it all over and over and over again? Come on, what do you think?
Happens every day.
I know it happens every day. Unbelievable. It just goes to to show you guys. I know you guys that are in my circle and pay attention. I say it we're surrounded by stupid people, guys.
We're at war with the stupid.
Don't say that now, though. Okay.
I think that John, me and you were talking, and not that it kind of fits into the scenario. Is that the Niagara Falls people are uninformed?
Well, they're uninformed. They're also horny. They're all saying, "Take it off, Timmy. You're going to dance tonight."
And Brent, on that conversation that we had briefly before the show, and I will be a person who will tell you I was uninformed about the way city government works until a year ago, and I started doing my research. And since I've got into council, I've done a lot of research. And when I say uninformed, it's not that they're uneducated or stupid. It's just that we have not done a good job in this city, and of getting information out to the community so they can make educated decisions on who they vote for.
No transparency.
Educated decisions on what is going on in City Hall. And that is one of my goals as a city council person, to educate our community a little more on what's going on in City Hall.
I think that that Renee can attest to. I know that city councilman and running for Congress is two different things, but I think it's a little higher level where you went, huh? I think after me and you talked last week, and I was actually, did people shit on you? Were they treating you bad? Blah blah blah.
Oh, every day.
Go ahead.
Well, it's, city council. I mean, it would be a little different or a little bit more helpful if our local media, was on our side and educating the people and getting the word out. And if we could get those people on our side, it would be a whole other story.
All you gotta do is fall into their agenda, and they'll promote the hell out of it.
I think we all agree that the media enjoys controversy, and it thrives on that, right?
Not media, it's propaganda.
Absolutely.
And no matter how you look at it, guys, it's pay for play. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the problem here is we have no local media. We've got no. Hopefully, we're becoming part of that. That we're getting a reach that's visual, and combines that with the digital age, and that we can get like John's desire to come out and educate people. That's admirable, because very few councillors have approached us about actually doing this. As some want to come on, but John must come out and teach. So. But before we move to that, we did have quite.
Hang on. I got to point something out to you. You have under our opening Fun Day Nights with Noelle and Courtney.
Oh, to hell with you. Yeah, I know. I was rushing around because everybody comes in at 10 minutes before the show, and that's usually what I know. Anyway,
20 minutes before, okay?
Well,
15
okay,
for me.
20 minutes. Yeah, I waited for Renee, but I'll wait for Renee, another 5 minutes. But let's talk about yesterday while I fix that. Brett, do you want to tell them what happened, or do you want me?
Okay, so, yesterday, guys, everybody knows, and no matter how you think about it, what you feel about me, there's a difference. I care. I care about our city. I care about pride and enthusiasm. I may not always, project, myself or my wording correctly. Kind of sounds like somebody else, right? That's hated. Anyways, I call myself the broke Donald Trump. So, we went to, a rally that was supposed to be for that Mariah girl that, was murdered, and, they're still looking for the person that killed her. I don't know. I was kind of confused by the way, all the talk that went on and everything. Someone was saying she OD'd or but I don't know if her tongue was cut out. I don't know if she. Whoop. Are we there?
Well, I'm looking to find this thing you're telling me, and all I can see. Oh, you're right. Oh, sorry.
Come on, Peter.
Sorry, I just had to kind of.
Man.
All right, go ahead, Brett.
Okay, so anyways,
I forgot what I was saying.
thank you, Carly Lapp. I appreciate that. So what we did is we showed up Saturday and we did some sound, and we were putting together a little program. I thought maybe I was going to have a chance to speak. Not that I wanted to or anything, but I think that the things that I say resonate a little bit with the people. A lot of people can identify with me, and the people that don't are the you people that I talk about. Anyway, so we go there, and all of a sudden I see some buzzing going around, and they're showing their phones to each other, and they're pointing at me, and they're talking all kinds of crap. So Jill Shaw comes over, and she pulls me aside. This really happened, and she says, "Brett, I have to tell you, there's a little list going around, and you're on the list."
You're on the list.
He's making a list.
Yes, so I said, "Jill, what are you talking about?" She said, "Well, there's the most white supremacists in Niagara Falls, and you're on it." And, I was like, "Really? Who's showing this list? Can I see the list?" No, they won't tell me who gave the list or who put the list out there.
But just know you're on it.
Yeah, but you're on it. Yeah. Not only was I on it, but I think I was first.
You're probably second.
Right behind you.
And you know who else wasn't on it? My brother wasn't on it. So you know that list is full of shit. So anyways, are you doing that?
Yeah, I just got it fixed for you.
Okay.
But after we were talking, I realized I put edge of the list.
Edge of the list.
So anyways,
It's hard to get good help.
Peter, take over.
Well, yeah. So we had this. Has anybody got their phone or Facebook on right now?
I do.
I think that's
Someone's leaking.
All right, so hang on.
All right,
Why don't
so-
we take this a minute, Peter, and tell them all what to do first and
Yeah,
foremost.
ladies and gentlemen, please share your share
our feed. Yeah, share our
it with
feed.
friends,
Invite your friends,
family, your wife.
If you have kids that
Any
are
of them.
listening, maybe shoo them away a little bit because I might say a couple of curse words.
I think my mom's watching this too. So.
All right,
Oh, we better say fuck.
All right.
There, I said it. Okay.
He's got an orange shirt. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a red shirt on, Mom. Okay.
All right.
No, listen, Mom, every word I've ever learned, I learned from your son.
She'll probably believe you.
All right. So let me.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yes, I know.
Is it? Yeah, knock stuffing out of each other. Yeah.
gonna
Okay,
take
so
Renee home to
let's
meet
pick up
Mom.
that story. So we get there. This group of people unload, and I overhear them saying to the organizer, "We're here to organize things and make sure there's no problems." And they are all white, which the organizer comes up and says, "Brett's not speaking because black voices are uncomfortable with him." But they, it's such a dichotomy. But anyway, so they go around, they mull around, and they're holding little lists.
The Rainbow Bright kids.
Oh my God! Well, I think they're Antifa wannabes. So at this point, I go down to talk to the woman who apparently has the list because I think it's my nature. I'll go engage people to talk about it and just find out why they're here. She ran away from me. She literally ran away.
Scared her.
Yeah, me? I'm an
Intimidation.
attack hamster at the best of times, and there you go. So we realized they were Antifa light. That's the B squad, the taxi squad that wants to make the team but can't. So what we thought was, well, that's good. Let's let's help them a little bit. So Yowowa has created something for them. So if you're ready for this, I will put video.
Hang on,
up.
let me just add a little bit more to this.
Oh, yeah, I guess there's
and
more.
then you go. Yeah, then you can go into the video. So
Thanks.
while we're all mulling around and we're talking, and I have Jill Shaw and on one side of me and Val on the other side, and these kids, their heads must have been spinning because here I am hugging two black women and they're saying, "Oh, Brett's my man," and blah blah blah, and all the rest of these people are scratching their head, going, "Well,
That's
no,
some
he's
bitch's lost.
He's a white supremacist."
He's supposed to be a white
Peter,
supremacist.
what did they say? They
got
had
the
to
hood?
change their walk.
Oh yeah, they changed their
Security was
route
at risk.
because white supremacists were waiting to ambush
Yes,
them.
they were going to get ambushed by the white supremacists. Like
Their
they
walk
were going to
wasn't
jump out.
that big. I mean, that wasn't worth ambushing.
Oh, we're going to jump out from behind the trees and
Oh
say,
my
"Boo!"
gosh.
All right.
What was it I told them? The sheets are all in the laundry. No one's coming out,
So
That
anybody
dildo
that knows
repellent,
me, anybody that
word
knows me or anything about me knows that for the last 10 or more years, I've been trying to be active in Niagara Falls and doing things in Niagara Falls.
Feeding people.
And not just feeding people. I'm talking about saving youth's lives. No matter
Yeah.
how you look at it, no matter how anybody talks about this, there's a lack of motivation. There's a lack of pride. There's a lack of enthusiasm amongst everybody. Am I always perfect? No, I'm not always perfect. Do I always say the right things? Of course I don't always say the right things, because guess what?
You want to be President Trump?
Yeah, I kind of like the controversy too, guys. That's what I was telling these guys. I don't care what these little peons say. If they want to fight, me and Damon would have kicked the shit out of everybody. And then I'm telling Tim Heuther, Tim, it's a good thing you weren't there, because we might have got a little bit mouthy. But anyways, they didn't come within 6 feet of me, right, Peter?
Yeah, they were hovering behind you. I have them on video. I showed it to Barb today. They're hovering behind you, and then they back away.
Yeah, they size everybody up. Is it worth the paycheck?
Yeah.
Well, so why don't we show what we're doing for the people of the Antifa wannabes?
Sure, do it.
Here we go. I heard that.
COVID.
Well, you've tried the green hats and green vests and your scribble pads that you write down notes, and you've stood outside the car and argued who looks more Antifa-like. Even your armor looks lame, and you know that no one's going to take you seriously, especially in the big leagues that you hope to join. Antifa will never let you join looking like that, but there's hope for you with Yowowa Media. So don't just squabble outside the car and look stunned when the camera catches you. That's right, today's Antifa wannabe wear. It's stylish. It's rugged. It's determined. Any craft item or crap item can be turned into a piece of anti-Antifa wear. So shout out your desire to be part of the great organization known as Antifa. And get your Antifa wannabe protest suit for the lame ass who likes to stick their nose into other people's cities. One day you'll be a part of this group, but right now you know how you look. So step up to the pros with Yowowa Antifa wear. For the pretender in everyone.
Were those scuba goggles?
Listen. They had. Did you see that? They really were all carrying Darth Vader swords.
Oh my God, plastic! I mean, and the shield was an embroidery hoop with a bunch of fabric on it that they had written no peace, no justice, no peace or something. And I agree with that sentiment. We were there for justice for Mariah, but. They made a joke of it, and they hijacked the whole thing. They started the march. They started hurling, F the racist police, and it was burn the city. And we've got it on video.
Burn the city down. Fuck the racist police. Come on, guys. Where's half of the Niagara Falls people came back? They were insulted. They were like, "This isn't what it's about." There was a police officer sitting out there. Everything was going good at the beginning, and then a couple of the radicals from Buffalo, little peons that weighed about 130 pounds, that would hide if shit ever hit the fan. They would literally hide. That's why they had to have 30 of them come, and they stuck together, and they stayed away from me, and they stayed away from Damon, and talked to amongst each other. Nothing out loud was said.
Well, you have to agree to them when they say "fuck the racist police." I mean, you can't argue with that. But my question is, where are the racist police? Point those ones out to me. Those
are the
are the
racist
ones,
police station.
Those are the ones that you want to weed out. So, okay, I get that point. But when you start yelling that in every police officer's face,
I guess that's what I'm getting at. There was a
you're
cop
lumping
sitting there.
them all together, and you don't do that.
I agree. I guess again, my wording doesn't sound. If there are racist cops, listen. Let's be honest with
Nobody
you.
likes
The
a
word
racist
the word racist is not used right anyways
Hell
by
no,
everybody.
it's not.
Racist. What it really means, in the way I guess I interpret it, is someone who's proud of their race. So if you think about it, everybody is
Not
racist
necessarily
to a point.
proud of your race, but when you prefer your race over another race, when you believe you should get treated better because of your race. And that's where everybody's just they're throwing the racist around. And you know what I say? Fuck you. Call me a racist. Call me an asshole. I wear them both proudly.
You know what? I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I've said that over and over again. That if being a racist and caring, if that means I'm a racist, then I guess I'm a racist.
I'm guilty.
Right.
You
So
gave me the cooties.
I got a question for you,
texted.
John. At council meetings, when councilors have, first of all, I don't think councilors get a lot of opportunity to talk together, but do you ever discuss these community events and decide if you're coming out for them or as a group? Like, what's the sentiment in the circle that you talk to?
Well, we were talking before the show. A couple of these events, earlier ones with the marches, I was out of town on two of them. I couldn't attend them. But the one yesterday, if it wasn't for a friend that texted me and said, hey, do you know there's this march going on? Some of the marches or the events, I'm not a big Facebook person. I'm not on social media a lot. So some of these events, I don't even hear about until after they happen, which that's my fault. Maybe I have to be on social media a little more.
You guys need an administrative assistant to keep your schedule
You
straight.
need a POI officer.
Oh, actually, Owen Steed got called to the carpet over everything.
They took him. Yeah.
Well, I yelled down to him and I said, "You're paying $70,000 for a public information officer, and why are we so ill-informed?"
Well, and that event yesterday, and I saw some of the videos from your show yesterday. Actually, a friend told me to watch your show, and that's where I heard about that march yesterday. And I'll only say one thing about that march, and I say this every time I get a chance in public. The police officers in this society today have the toughest job there is, and I would not want to be a police officer in this society. And if you see a police officer, walk up to them and thank them for what they do right now, because their job
Yes.
right now
Yeah.
is one
I
of the
concur.
toughest ones
Absolutely.
they have in society.
Good point. But what about you counselors? Like, I know you didn't quite know about it, but I guess there's no point of discussion or no way that they inform you, Councilman?
Some people are informed more than others. And when I say that, like I said, I'm not on social media, but when I'm not specifically knowing what march you're talking about, but most of the city councilors know when events are going on if they're published and stuff.
All right, I just have to, I guess, it wouldn't be me if I didn't say so. I know because, I've been talking to other city councilmen or leaders and stuff, that you guys can get together an hour before, a city council meeting. You talk about the things that are going on. Is that really enough time for you as a group, all of you, to be together and make a decision, within an hour before?
Well, you have to remember, by public law, we cannot meet together as a whole group. And
okay,
talk.
see, you're telling me something I didn't.
That's
I didn't know that.
interesting.
I didn't
So
know
what's
that.
interesting, and here's what so right now the council's made up of 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats. Now, the 3 Republicans, it's what's called a caucus. We can meet, and it's allowed by government rules that us 3 can meet. But we cannot meet as a whole council and discuss
City business,
city
because
business
that
and
is actually
agenda items,
part of the
'cause-
law.
Right.
I have to say, just because I'm a shit starter, that I believe there's only one Republican on there, and he's with us.
Easy now.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Well,
bad Brett. Don't say that.
Brett, and here's
Damn
what
it.
I can tell you. And first of all, I want to congratulate you guys and Yowowa Media. And I brought this article that was in the paper, I think it was last week, and it says, "Real change, one person at a time." And the Gazette gave thumbs up to what you guys are doing here.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm a firm believer.
That advertising paid off, didn't
Yeah.
it? Now you get good publicity.
And one of the reasons I'm here, and I'm a firm believer, I talked to John Restino today too, and I in order to get the word out, these podcasts and these forums is what the city needs. And I always don't agree with the language and stuff that
Fucking
is contained
Peter.
sometimes, but it's a platform. It's a good platform. And hopefully we can use it more to educate.
I just want to, again, interrupt you for 1 minute and just say that a lot of people, I think, John, can identify with the way that I speak, the way that I act, the way that I am, and I think. One thing that I
And when they get out of prison.
one thing I like about you is from the first time I met you. I met you before you became councilman when I had that chili cook-off,
Right.
and we kind of took to you, me and Peter. We were talking.
Yes.
We just had our 1-year anniversary with the Edge of the Falls. I got to give a little high five to Peter. Cheers. But anyways, one thing I like from you is that you shoot straight from the hip, and it doesn't seem like you You know, I know things have changed now because you're a politician, maybe, you know, that you have to kind of dance around, you know, what you're going to say so that they don't use it against you or everybody doesn't hate you or even if you really care, you know, but it seemed like you came off as a straight shooter all the time.
You know, here's what I can tell you. I do care what people think about me, but it's not enough that as long as I'm doing the right thing and people disagree with what I'm doing, I'm okay with that. You know, there was one council meeting when we were voting on the STR that someone, I spoke about, you know, I always supported the mayor's plan for the STR. And it was kind of controversial. And but one of the persons yelled out, "You're supporting it because you're getting money in your pocket."
Kickbacks.
Guess what? I at the council meeting, I yelled back and I said, "No, you don't know me." And that's what got me mad. Now, guess what? If they yelled, "You're terrible. It's a poor decision." What's that?
Were you getting a kickback?
No, not yet.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I know.
But, you know, and you know, if Peter, you know, I know me and Tim, I don't like it calling a cage match because the first time I met Tim.
I'm just kidding.
No, but one of the first times I met Tim is when I spoke at a city council meeting and Tim was speaking. And really, the golf course got me into politics. And I hate to say it, it could have been the worst thing that I ever did was starting to complain about the golf course. But I still remember the first time I met Tim. I spoke at a meeting. He spoke at a meeting. I met him in the hallway, and we talked a little. You know, and we have different views on the golf course even. But that's okay. You know, it's okay to have different views. And one of the things I hope we have a chance to, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do it tonight, but I put some slides together.
Yeah, we're going to get to it. You know, I was just taking up a little bit of time. You know, and one thing that I tried, and seriously, 100% not to do, guys, Peter, is what?
61.
Be boring.
Oh.
No. If we're boring, you know, people aren't going to listen. You know, if we're lying, people aren't going to listen. If we're shooting straight from the hip, we're telling the truth. And occasional, you know, maybe a little curse word in there. You know, and then we add Renee to the show, and you know, everything's going to like it.
And then it goes
Do
all
not ask
downhill.
Renee to show you her boobs.
Already.
Renee is not showing her boobs.
Not yet.
I'll show mine.
Not yet.
There you go.
Yeah, we got some
Depends on
wine
the
back
rating.
here.
Hey.
But let's also point out, too, that John Spanbauer was at our peanut butter and jelly hot dog giveaway.
I know.
Yes.
He was there with us as well as Dante, and, you know, we all had a good time together. I mean, he does go out and get involved in some things. I don't blame him for staying away from the more controversial things, but...
No, and you know, when you say that...
But I do, though. I think that, you know, you as being a politician, maybe not go to all of them, but the ones where death is involved, I think that our councilmen need to be there.
First of all, I have to have a pulse on the community. I will not do my job right if I don't have a pulse on the community.
Right.
But here's what I can tell you. There's many things I do in this community that I don't advertise. I don't, you know, I don't need to be
we don't need the spotlight.
I love it. You don't need a pat on the back.
You don't
I love it.
grandstand.
And there's things I do in regards to working at some soup kitchens and doing some things that I'm not out there talking about.
You show up when the cameras aren't there, when the news cameras
I
aren't
like it.
there.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. You didn't even want us to mention that you were, you know, doing the hot dog giveaway. I remember that. So,
Yeah.
you know.
So, folks, can I steer this a little bit because an hour goes by, we're already half hour gone. And we are late tonight, so not everyone's going to be able to stay with us the whole time, but we got a comment from Michael Williams. Are we going to be able to ask questions? I'm going to suggest this. John, I'm going to bring up those slides. You tell me which one you want to work with, and take 5 minutes to talk about what you want to do. When you've done that, Tim, if you want to say anything, you say so, and then we'll open up the phone lines for people, because I think it's great to have the two of you able to debate. Should that work?
And here's what I would tell you, Peter. If you could put up the slides in the order I sent them to you. And here's the thing. We won't spend too much time, but one of the things I have tried to do as a new city council member is understand why we got to the position we're in and how we got to the position.
Is that the
we're
first
in.
one?
No, if you go to comparison of salaries with similar populations.
There it is. Payroll 2018.
Okay, so
Hang on. I'm going to get that one.
So one of the things I have done is I've done research on our city budget and also looking at other cities' budgets. And one of the first things I found out is that we are spending more money on benefits and salaries than most cities that we are compared to. Now, there's no doubt we are a different city, okay? The cities we look at comparing ourselves to are always Binghamton, Utica, Troy. Those are the ones that the state uses because they're similar size. So one of the things I did is I put some slides together, and if they come up.
Hang
I
in
had
there.
to take I tried to send them by email, but for some reason they didn't get through, so we took pictures of them, and they're not real clear.
Hang on, because they came to me in one order, and there we go.
Okay, so let me start with this one. This is just...
Hang on, I got to get it up for the people.
And
Wait a minute,
first of
that
all,
sounds rude.
Yeah, and one of the things you'll find...
You're old.
I am, man.
And if people are interested in finding out about city cost and in comparison to other municipalities, there's two forums you go to. You can go to See Through New York, and it can do comparisons of other
.net.
cities. You can look up salaries. And also the State Comptroller's Office, who has just for the third time in a row put us in a fiscally stressed city for 3 years in a row. Only city that I think made that in New York State.
You said see through New York.
SeeThroughNY.net.
Yeah.
Who's wearing see-through?
SEETHRU or
It's
through the.
it'll be on the slides, and also
Okay, very
the
good.
Comptroller's Office is a great asset too. But I'll go through these quick because I know we don't have a lot of time, and you know.
Well, there's one up for you. Salary
that one there,
comparison
all
of
that
cities.
shows is a comparison of salaries in 2018 to other cities, and you could see in Niagara Falls, we had two people make over 200K. No other city had people making over 200K. We had 16 people making over 150,000. Not one of those cities we compare ourselves to made over 150,000. Then you could see that there's 90 and 80K. So when we look at that, my question is, well, why are we paying so much more in salaries than other cities? So if you want to go to the next one.
Which one do you want next?
It would be comparison of cities with similar populations with pension payments, 2019.
Let's see if we can find that. Problem is, it's such a small screen. I'm sorry, folks, for this, but
And I'll start talking before. But again, what we have legacy payments. When people are retiring in the last 3 years, they're building up their retirement pay for their pension. We have legacy payments for the rest of those pensions. And if you look at our pension payments, which I found it hard to believe that we actually have one person in the city that earns almost $100,000 in their pension.
is that the
Okay.
one you wanted? Comparable municipalities: Troy, Niagara Falls, Utica, Binghamton.
Yeah, I don't have good. It should be the pension 2019.
Oh.
Or actually, I'll go to that one. If you know what, I'll
Yep.
just.
We'll bounce around.
Okay, so what this one is if you, and this I found interesting too. Look at the average salary among the top 50 employees in 2010. When I say top 50 employees, what you can do a data search and See Through New York. And what I did is I put all the cities in that we're compared to, and I looked at the top 50 employees. And what came out was this data in 2010. The average salary among the top 50 employees, and there were 26 in Troy that averaged $107,000, 13 in Niagara Falls that averaged $106,000. And when I say 13 employees were in that top 50 list, Utica had 11 at 107. Binghamton had none. But what you can do is when you look at it 9 years later, the average salary among the top 50 employees doing the same search, Troy, 137 with only 6 employees. And Niagara Falls went to 30 employees averaging $148,000. So in 9 years, you can see the difference in the salary adjustments. If you go to the final column, you compare the city's top salaries in 2010 and then the city's top salaries in 2019. And I'm just going to look at Niagara Falls.
Why, John?
Why what?
Why? Why is this happening? What
I'm
do you-
gonna,
what do you-
let me finish
Right.
this one, and then I'm going to tell you why I think it's happening. The top city salary in 2010 was $131,000. The top salary last year for an employee was around $188,000. That's a 43% increase in our top earner over a 9-year period. If you compare that to all the other 3 cities, their top earner only went up 25%. So you ask why? The main reason why is casino funds. When I look at this, and if you want to go to casino, if you want to go to the last slide.
And that's the casino funds, right? Like, hang in there.
Yeah. Right there.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, the casino fund shows you what we spent from 2008 to 2020. And you could see that how that scale works, where we were only taking about $5.5 million from 2008 to 2015 out of casino funds to support the general budget. Then from 2016 to 2020, you could see the increase. And I believe all our salaries also increased. So there's a correlation to us using casino funds and the cost of operating government. So these other cities did not have casino funds to rely on to support the cost of city government employees. So I believe very often our contracts would come to the table. We had the money to support them, and we paid more in contract costs.
Obviously.
But it should also be noted, and I think, and Tim, you probably know this situation, it might have been in 2016 or 2015, we went to arbitration with the Niagara Falls Police Department. And the arbitrator basically said, well, hold it. We're saying we didn't have money to increase the Niagara Falls Police Department for a 3% or 4% increase. But what the arbitrator decided, no, you do have the money because you've got $25 million sitting in a casino fund that you have used in the past to support salaries, so you should be using it now. You can't say you don't have money. So a lot of the salary cost is related to the casino funds that we have used.
Juanita says, yeah, it wasn't that Deister that kept raising the salaries.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yep.
And then, and I know me and Tim have talked about health care, and, I don't know if you want to pull up the health care slide, but real quick, we have 524 employees in the city of Niagara Falls in 2019. 331 of them pay zero for health insurance. In comparable businesses in this area, when we look at Niagara University, Niagara Falls School District, the casino, the Power Authority, there's not a single organization that allows an employee not to pay zero for health insurance. Health insurance right now for cost is almost $28,000, okay, to pay for health insurance. So we have a $20 million bill in health insurance cost. $10 million for current employees, $10 million for retired employees. Take a guess how much we get from employees' contributions to health insurance. What percentage of that $20 million in the 2020 budget that we get from employees?
Enlighten us.
Less than 1%.
Whoa.
Why?
Because employees get free health insurance.
That's not true.
Now, what the city has done, and I agree with this current council, and when I say current, the before I got there, all new employees are required to pay 15%, and their buyout is less now. Okay, the buyout is the max is $3,500 if you don't take health insurance. Right now, the buyout for anyone that was not included in the recent contracts, their buyout is $10,000. There is not anywhere that I have found where there's a buyout of $10,000. Okay, the $10,000 cost this city almost $18,000 on a biweekly basis in payroll costs for the buyout, almost $500,000 a year. We should have a buyout. But it shouldn't be $10,000. It should be related to some of the other buyouts that are in other municipalities. So, and I know the slides, we didn't go through them in order, but that's okay. They're
going to be up here. They're going to be on our page. So
actually, pull the healthcare slide up there.
You got it, sir.
So if you look at this one, this is exactly what I'm talking about in regards to cost. City employees have a gold-plated insurance plan, $10,069 for single coverage, and you can see what it is for family coverage. I already covered bullet point 2 on that, about the $20 million. The employees contribute less than 1% to this $20 million cost. In 2019, 45 employees opted out of medical insurance. The cost of the city for the opt-out payment was $17,791. Almost $500,000 a year we're paying out in buyout cost. And approximately 60% of our employees pay zero for medical insurance. Now, I would like to have Tim, because I know, he has some justification for this. I'd like to have him give an opportunity to speak to that.
Tim, where do you work now?
Well, I currently am a city employee. I've been a city employee for 10 years now.
Okay.
I'm here not representing my union, but just to give facts out to people that I actually know from the time that I've spent working for the city and with the city.
Great, we can use your insight.
Yes, absolutely. I don't care who gets pissed off about this. I tell the facts, and I don't care.
And that's the reason why you know me and you click too, brother.
I pulled some history on the person. I'm a member of the Steelworkers Union. I'm a civil service employee. I am tested to do my job. I have to have qualifications in order to hold my position. I started in 2011, and I pulled contracts. Like the earliest one I could find was from 1996, which, by the way, was signed in June 23rd, 1997, which is part of a history with the city.
Tim, can I interrupt you one second?
Buddy.
And I always talk to them. I always forget. When we bring up all that data about salaries and stuff, it's public safety. It's public safety is the major cost.
Thank you.
And I always forget, and I always tell Tim. So when we talk about DPW, I think I think I did this. We can go down 130 employees before we get to a DBW employee in the city of Niagara Falls for their pay scale.
Well under $100,000 a year. Trust me.
Yes, yeah. So I wanted to make sure I said that.
Thank you.
Okay.
But the contract from 1996, which covered years January 1, 1996 through December 31, 2000, was not signed until June 23rd of 1997, a year and a half after the contract was supposed to take effect. The second contract, which I want to look at here, was from January 1, 2001 to December 31, 2004.
Hang on, I just want to ask you a question where you're going. Now, these are Department of Public Work contracts.
These are the steelworkers, which mainly cover DPW. We also
okay.
have the
So I
office
think we're
staff
all
and
on the
things.
same page that our problem isn't the Department of Public Works.
But I want to show part of what the history is now.
Okay, go ahead. I wasn't trying to cut you off. But, you know how I feel.
John had brought up about the unions not contributing towards their health care. Now, back in 1996 contract, there were 6 options for the medical insurance. Okay, and those options, if you chose 2 of them, one option, if you chose, you could get the medical insurance and get a $750 per year payout for choosing a city-sponsored option. There was a city-sponsored traditional plan, a city-sponsored PPO, or an HMO. But there were payouts as well as your insurance coverage. They used to pay you to take a lesser insurance coverage. Okay, over the years, obviously, those choices have dwindled, and now we have one option, we have 2 options, because according to our latest contract, which was cover the great 10-year contract from 2014 to 2024, which I'll point out was signed on September 18th, 2017, 3 years after it was expired. Now, nobody went on strike. Those union workers were working under an expired contract and still doing their job, and there were no raises during that time. There was nothing that was given or offered or anything. But at that time, there was an option on there. All new city employees that were hired had the option of paying, I believe it's 10 or 15%, depending on which coverage you choose to take. So, but we actually, the steelworkers here, started contributing health insurance in 2009 to 2013 contract, which was expired 2 years before it was signed. They started, new hires were supposed to start paying 5%, I believe it was here.
It was 5%.
Yes, it was 5%. All new employees. So any employee that started after, which actually would have been 2011, June 1st, 2011, when this was signed, any employee that was hired after June 1st, 2011, has been contributing towards their health care premium. Not to mention, not only do they contribute towards their premiums, but every steel worker covered under our contracts, their health care copays were all raised up. Hospital copays went up, prescription copays went up, seeing a regular doctor went up, dental copays went up. All the copays for our medical insurance did go up. And the reason the reason that those co-pays and everybody thinks that we have a Cadillac health insurance, I pulled the last. I've got 27 years worth of contracts here. That's the last contract I have was from the 1997 one, and if you go through those, there were 8 out of the last 27 years that there were 0 raise taken, but there was 1 year where they took a 12% pay decrease for all jobs, all positions if they were starting. I have to see where I had that noted. And then that was the 12% was the starting pay decrease, and then the second year step increase was also reduced by 6%. That would have been from January 1st, 2001, I believe it was, is when I have that noted. So when they say that the city unions are breaking, the city unions aren't trying to help out. I can tell you that the steel workers showed up when the city wanted to ask for the pay decrease when the COVID started happening. I can tell you that the steel workers were represented at that meeting. We did show up. Other ones may not have been there. But,
believe it or not, I'm pro-union.
Well, I
Even
appreciate
as a Republican.
it. You know what? You can thank your unions. The history of the unions is very simple. I mean, people try to muddy up the water. Unions are responsible for creating the 40-hour work week.
Yep.
Unions are also responsible for creating OSHA to make sure that our union members have a safe place to work, including during this COVID thing, which the city did well with us. There were weeks where we were working every other week to limit the exposure to everybody. PPE's been, we'll say, less than desirable in some of the things. But, the city's doing what they can to ensure that we have a safe work environment. And that's all because the unions have fought, to collectively bargain and make sure that we have a safe environment. We get a fair wage. We get compensated for the time that we
so
work.
what the unions are for. I'm also pro-union, so don't ever
But-
confuse me
Right.
of not being pro-union. However, I know that me and you have talked back and forth on this. The people that aren't in the union, of course, are
Well, now the city employees that are not in the union, they are referred to as exempt employees. Now, let me tell you, they get the same medical insurance that the union employees
what I'm getting at,
bargain
brother.
for. The union has to bargain in good faith, and by the contracts that I have, I can show you. Those contracts were signed after the previous contract had expired. So that should be an indication of how in good faith the city likes to bargain with. I'll just speak on the Steelworkers Union, which I'm a member of. I can show you. They don't want to. And then when the contracts are bargained for, now the question's been posed before, who does the bargaining? Now I can tell you the last contract was bargained for with 3 union city employees, with an international union rep, which attends all of our meetings and everything. And there was one city attorney there who happens to be Corporation Counsel now, Chris Mazer. He's the one that's negotiated the union contracts. It's my understanding Mr. Mazer gets his orders from the mayor as to what he's willing to give and what he's willing to work with to bargain with. And he's the one that's been the negotiator for the city. I mean, we don't hire lawyers to come in. We don't have sharpshooters or anything like that. There's no, holding somebody's finger on the table with an axe saying, if you don't give it to us, we're going to cut it off. Mm-hmm. It's bargaining in good faith, which means it's supposed to be about give and take. And I know that there's been times where, it has been basically one-sided, almost like dictating. These are the terms, take it or leave it. And me, I'd be like, leave it, dude, because you want to bargain. Bargaining means we're going to sit down and negotiate.
Right.
You're not going to dictate the terms.
But Tim, in fairness, the questions about who was bargaining were aimed at the city, not you.
Oh, I understand.
From the city's point, you've got a lawyer. You've got your
Right.
bargaining team is made up of representatives of your local.
Yes.
Your bargaining unit. Whereas the city has no transparency to what was said in that meeting, what was offered and given back.
Well,
That was the whole
contract
point.
Negotiations are done behind closed doors because that's a personnel matter that doesn't.
But I've done
doesn't
them
get
as
exposed.
well with the union in Canada, and it's the accountability that comes with eyes. That's what I mean. Transparency. We're not doubting the union whatsoever. We just want to know what the city got and what it gave up.
Right.
And let me comment on that, Peter. And here's and I want to make sure I'm clear on this because I've been referred that the unions don't like me, and I'm okay with that. My platform was real simple. When I went into their action committees, and I just said, in order for this city to get better, I believe everyone had to contribute to health insurance. We had to reduce overtime. I wanted the buyout to be reduced. But I also said I want all employees to work in a safe environment. So because I'm trying to be fiscally responsible and ask questions, that does not mean I'm against the unions. And here's what I can tell you. The unions negotiated. They did not dictate the contracts. And I've said this in any public place I get. If I'm a police officer or a firefighter, I'm going to try to get the best contract I can get.
Of course.
And the city allowed them to get the best contract we can get. And when I say that, our leadership, our council, and our mayor. And here's one thing I will tell you when you talk about a corporate council. We have one attorney who's the main negotiator for the contracts. If you want to take, and I'm not sure how the iron workers are.
Steelworkers.
Or the steel workers. But if you want to take, let's just say the Niagara Falls Fire Department. They have national resources that they will use to assist in negotiating contracts. They have people they can contact. They have people working all the time looking at how they can get better their contract, which that's what they should be doing. We have an attorney that's got 15 other things to do, and he's going to help negotiate. So the negotiations we're put behind the 8 ball at the start in regards to having a person just dedicated to negotiating contracts where the unions have more time to do it and more resources to do it.
At the last contract negotiations, you had Craig Johnson was the city corporation counsel. Chris Mazer was one of the other attorneys. There were 3 attorneys in the office at the time. Chris Mazer's just been the one that's been the HR end of, or I guess the HR specialist, whatever they'd like to call him, that specializes in dealing with union negotiations. So they didn't just have one, they had 3. And this is part of what the issue is too, is sometimes council doesn't always get accurate information. And this is what I've been trying to tell some of my other friends as well, is that sometimes you got to consider the source. You know the deal. There's always 3 sides to every story.
Tim, and I don't care who negotiates. The bottom line is it comes in front of the council. We vote the contracts. I could tell you right now, the last 2 things that came to council, and one came in 2018. In fact, that one of the ones came, I was at the council meeting, and I saw it approved, and I disagreed with what was in the content. And I'll be very honest with you. It was Niagara Falls Fire Department, and in the content of the contract was we cannot close a fire hall in this city until 2026. And I'm not saying we want to close a fire hall, but guess what? We should not have the unions dictating how we can operate this city. Let's just say we lost another 20,000 people in the next 2 years. I'm not sure we would need 5 fire halls, but the contract says we cannot close a fire hall until 2026.
We got a call coming in.
I would have not voted for that.
Get ready. It's our buddy Eastside Dave.
Hey, Eastside Dave.
All right, but he's getting a time limit.
Hey, hang on. You're on the edge of the falls. Hang on 1 minute. Hang on. Hang on, brother. Hang on. Let me know when you can hear me on here. All right, hang on, brother. Hang on.
Remember, it might only cut in on one side. He may have to call back.
Hang on. You there, bro?
I'm here.
Dave,
he's only on one side. A lot of people won't hear him.
All right, Dave.
Call right back.
Call right back. I'll take your call.
All right, am I on now or what? There's all this noise in the background. Am I on?
Call back.
No, call right back. Call me right back.
Call you right back?
Yes, call me right back right now. I just hooked up the Bluetooth. Call me right back right now. All right. Call me right back, bro.
When we don't have the Bluetooth hooked up in advance, it cuts in on one side. A lot of people don't hear the caller.
And let me why Dave calls back.
Dave, all right, you're on now.
Okay.
All right,
much better. Hang on.
You better believe it. It's crystal clear now. Before it was cracking and making all kinds of noise.
Okay, Dave, you got a couple of minutes.
Hang on 1 minute, brother. Go ahead, John.
1 minute.
Just stay with us. Stay with us and listen. Stay with us and listen.
I just wanted to address one of the slides I had about overtime. In 2019, we spent about $4.8 million in overtime, 2.3 on police, about 1.5 on fire, and DPW was not even $500,000. Okay, Our top earner in overtime last year for the city of Niagara Falls earned $80,000, $80,747 dollars. If you took our top 20 earners in overtime, they averaged $43,000 each. That is more than the median income of citizens of Niagara Falls.
And that's
again,
just their overtime.
And again, this is public safety. This is public safety.
I get it. I think everybody gets that.
But there's one thing, too, that we need to understand, okay? Police and fire, with the population going down, doesn't matter. They're still responsible for the same area. Their responsibilities don't go down. Just like public works. You know, just because we're losing population, we still got the same amount of responsibilities. We still got the same parts to take care of. We still got the same buildings to take care of. Just like the police and fire, they've still got the same areas to patrol. The area is not shrinking, just the population inside of it's shrinking. So I understand it's a tough situation, but on the other hand, you know, like I said, you know, follow the money if you want to know where it's at. And like I said, we've negotiated in good faith. I have the contracts, and even when our contracts were expired, we continue to work, which we have a no strike clause, and we are servants of the public. We do provide the services that are used by every citizen, and, you know, it's a job that has to be done. Unfortunately, we seem to be the whipping boys that get cut every year, and our responsibilities don't go down. As a matter of fact, when Seth was here, he obviously cleaned up and created a lot more parks.
We still have Eastside Dave on the line.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to sit back so Eastside Dave can talk about how these damn unions are breaking the city,
Okay, we
bankrupting
got
the city.
a couple minutes left.
No, let me tell you something. No, I did not say that the unions are breaking the city. I'm going to tell you, the city, the council people, they're the ones that dispose of this. It was because of Paul Deister and our council people that are on the council right now that voted for your unions over here to get 7 years of raises and with no increases in health insurance. When all the factories are shut down here, you go down Buffalo Avenue right now, DuPont, the huge building there that stretches from Buffalo Avenue to almost to the river, is being torn down. That's going to be a hell of a property tax hit. And also Oxy last year tore down 2 huge buildings. Look, we couldn't afford this. The city knew this, the council knew this, but they went out and voted on these raises. I'm not condemning the unions. The unions are there to fight, to get what they want and everything else through negotiations. It's just that the city caved in, and that's what happened over here.
Hey,
do you realize that we went out, we got hit between the property tax increase and this garbage user fee? We got hit with over a 30% increase in taxes on our property. The old people are losing their homes at an alarming rate over here. You could see it when it comes to auction day, when the in-realm auction comes out. It's all one-family homes now people are losing. The elderly can't keep them anymore. And I'm going to be worried about the firemen. I'm going to tell you what, you go down Buffalo Avenue, all the factories are shut down. You go down Highland Avenue, all the factories are shut down.
You'll
but they
worry
didn't
about
shut
those
down
firemen
any
if your
fire halls.
warehouse is on fire, Dave. You'll worry about those firemen then, buddy. Trust me.
Well,
when I
hey,
tell you.
okay, but look at. It's got to be proportional. You got to have so many firemen to population. When we had over 100,000 people, yeah, it was nice. It was nice having all this. But now we're down to 47,000.
The fireman's responsibility doesn't change because the population went down, Dave.
Oh, it doesn't, huh? It doesn't, huh?
No,
it doesn't. No, there's no more fires.
If your warehouse
Tom
is on
Burnham
fire, do
used
you
to be
expect it to be put out? If a vacant house is on fire, do you expect it to be put out? It don't give up. It doesn't matter if there's anybody living in the goddamn thing.
Look, you
they
had
still
your
gotta
turn.
put the building out. You
You
don't
had
know
your
all the
turn to
facts
talk.
either. You're right, I did, and I'm going
I
to tell
don't
you
have
that you're
all the
wrong.
facts,
You
I
don't.
do know one thing over here. I'm a large property owner in the city, and it's kicking my ass over here with these property taxes and this garbage
I
user
pay
fee.
those same
And then when I go
taxes
to
and fees,
Buffalo
Dave.
Avenue, down Buffalo Avenue here, and I see half the factories are shut down. There's nothing left. There's no jobs anymore. You guys better be thankful that you're even working right now. And don't say that you can go back to the dealer and get your old job back and everything else, because I don't know if that's even going to happen anymore. Everything is all downsized. Everything is downsized. I'm just sick and tired. We're broke. This is one broke ass city. And like I said, I'm not attacking the unions. You guys went in there, you negotiated because of our weak mayor and because of our weak corporation council. These guys, they gave you guys whatever the hell you wanted. But we can't pay this anymore. We cannot pay this anymore.
I know. I feel for you, Dave. I hear you.
Okay, listen, Dave, let's give John a chance to answer, a little bit of this while we got him here.
Right along while I was talking. He's been talking. I thought I was talking.
No, that was Tim. That was Tim.
That was Tim.
Well, I thought I was talking to Tom Darrell for a minute, the way it was going on.
No, you're talking to Tim. Now we're going to let John talk.
Well,
hang on, Dave. Stay on.
So my question, and I guess, Tim, I'll pose this to you. Here we are with our, let's just say, $100 million budget. 85% of it to 86% is tied up in human resource costs. Next year, with across-the-board raises 2%, we don't know what medical insurance is going to be, but it's supposed to go up. It's going to be up to 87, 88%. Where other municipalities, the closest one I found, their cost is 80% of city our size. So when you talk about 5%, you say, that's not that much. No, what that is for a $100 million budget, it's $5 million. Take that over 3 years, it's $15 million. My question to you is how do we get this city in a financial situation that we can put more money into DBW? We can do more things for the residents of this city. We are so handcuffed right now with the cost of employee cost. And again, it's been negotiated. I'm not saying it's the union's fault, but at some point, we cannot afford to operate this city the way we have done this for the last 10 years.
What does the city produce where they make income? This is a business. Okay, what does the city produce to get income, to generate revenue? The city provides services. What is the major cost when it comes to services? The labor and the manpower, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so any business major, anybody that has a business background will tell you, if you want to make money, you make a product that people want to buy. Do we have anything around here that people want to buy? No, we have no new development. We have bad property taxes. We got high crime rate, which is why a lot of your tax base, which is your revenue generator, is leaving the city. Okay, so when you are a service-oriented business, you provide a service. If you're not providing a service that people want, you lose your customers, you lose your revenue. What the city needs to do is focus on getting new revenue. One revenue that they have focused on is tourism and parking. Tourism and parking has gone up. This year we got screwed on tourism. This year we got screwed on parking. But parking revenue has come up. Tourism has been coming up. When you have, like Eastside Dave said, all these factories leaving, everybody downsizing, you're losing your tax base. That has shit to do with the amount of employees you had as far as when it comes to pay. Of course, everything goes up every year. It's called a cost of living increase. Okay, Social Security sees it. Everybody sees it. We see it. Our taxes go up every year. Okay, why do our taxes go up every year? Because the tax base is shrinking. It's not because the union contracts are going up. That's normal. I mean, let me tell you something. My raise every year, let me tell you, my raise is $16 a week. Is all the raise. Everybody says these guys are getting huge raises. My raise is $16.
Let me interject just real quick while you're on the subject about people leaving and people not coming here. You know damn well why people aren't coming to Niagara Falls. Both of you do. Everybody knows it. If you drive around the city and you look around, would you fucking stay here?
I came here in 2001.
Nobody
and it
would.
Wasn't this bad.
You guys, it's a people problem. I know I hate everybody hates to hear that, or hates for me to say that, and I'm not saying all the people. A majority of the people in the city of Niagara Falls do not care, do not show up, do not do things to benefit the city, and then everybody wants to get on and cry and complain about, everything going, bad and business not coming here.
But not
no good
help
business
to do
here.
anything.
Look, when a business does start up, they get taxed all the hell. They have to worry about being robbed.
Bingo.
Come on, guys. It don't take a brain
Customers
surgeon to figure out.
robbed.
What we need is a councilman that first talk, like you talked about when we sat down here, is caring about the people first, then tourism, then everything else. After that, I guess that's okay. Go ahead.
No, I fear for this city. I lived here all my life, and I think I will stay here all my life. But I'll tell you, in the last year, I've said, man, maybe it's not the thing I want to do, and I fear for this city. And This COVID just made it worse.
I was just going to ask you about that.
And what I'm concerned about, and we were talking about this before the show, if this Canadian border stays closed and we get through this retail season, that outlet mall, if we don't get to Canadian business, I see many of those stores closing, maybe never coming back. So we were in tough shape as it was. This COVID has just made things worse.
Compounded.
And you know, when you look at our Main Street, and when I say our Main Street, let's say we have Niagara Street, Pine Avenue, Main Street. It's sinful that we have nothing going on in these areas.
Listen, who lets Main Street USA anywhere but Niagara Falls look like our Main Street?
And I don't have all the answers.
I know.
But I still always go back.
I'm not blaming you, brother.
But I'm saying I still go back to, and Tim, I agree 100%. Economic development is a key. Okay, we need some private investment. There's no doubt. Okay,
but we can't get it here.
We need
everybody wouldn't be bitching, including Dave, including everybody else on here, if our city wasn't broke. Our city's broke.
Can I intervene with something here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Hey, look, here's the whole thing here. Again, I'm going to mention this. A lot of this has to do with greed, complete greed.
Absolutely.
Now, look, you got a couple councilmen that are making over $100,000 a year, and yet they're still getting that opt-out. Plus, they're getting the opt-out from the Board of Education. How much greed, how much money do you want? You got a councilman that got elected here 4 years ago because he told the people he wasn't going to take the hospitalization. The minute he gets elected, he takes it. Kenny Tompkins. Then what happens over here? You go on out this last election over here. Kenny Tompkins told everybody, absolutely not. I am not voting for that garbage user fee. I am not voting for it. Absolutely not. The people voted for him in large numbers. He gets elected. What does he do? That lying bastard goes on out and votes for that garbage user fee. There's no more money left in this city. You aren't going to get any more money. Everything is going down the tubes faster than you can flush a toilet. Look at the factories. There aren't any more. Globe shut down. Standard Auto Wrecking shut down. DuPont. 100-some jobs are gone. Good-paying, high-paying jobs are gone. Everywhere you look, even Kmart is. And I'm going to worry about the firemen. I worry about the police because we really, really need the police. But the firemen, I believe that they could cut one fire hall and we wouldn't miss anything. And that's it, man. That's what I have to say. So let's start making this place a level place over here for the elderly people that are on their fixed pension 30 years ago that are making $500-600 a month. They're having trouble right now. They can't pay their taxes on their homes. But I'm going to worry about a guy because he's got the opt-out where he's making $10,000 a year. When part-timers should not be collecting any hospitalization, where do you hear of part-timers, part-time councilmen or anything getting hospitalization?
Part-time, whether they're part-time or not, they're elected. And actually, I believe the councilmen do work full-time. Most of them have full-time jobs, and I know that a lot of the work that they do that's behind the scenes that not many people get to see because there's not cameras on them all the time. They do work a lot off camera, out of council chambers. So I don't really think it's, they may not be 40 hours a week every week, but I think that the council does actually work. The councilmen do work more than just the 2 hours or whatever it is a month of the council meetings. So I think calling them part-time, that's kind of realistic, but not really. And the other thing is their benefits package, that is part of their elected benefits. I mean, it's not that they're complete volunteers or anything like that. They're still expected to give up their time and be available whenever the city needs. And so, I mean, arguing about the benefits that they get when they're elected, I mean, I don't.
That's
see
only, that's another part of the problem that, Dave, there's so many problems. You have to agree with this, and everybody thinks you're like me because we talk loud and and get excited and stuff. Everybody thinks we're charged and
it's passionate.
maybe it's passion. That's I can feel it from you. Yeah. I think everybody does. There's a bunch of everybody's fed up, brother.
Yeah. Hey guys, thanks, Dave. We really appreciate your input. And a question came up now. We're going to go over to Michael Williams. Is it Michael Williams was saying, can we talk about the golf course?
Bob Gabe talked about it.
Who's got the balls?
Well, I could say, there's no doubt, like I said, the way I got into politics, I I was disappointed in the conditions of the golf course. I started to go to city council meetings, complain about it. I met with the director of DPW. I met with the golf course person. And then after I got involved, that's when it was just a coincidence that they put it out for lease, which I think was a good thing. And the reason I supported it, there was no loss of jobs, okay? And I thought the city was doing a poor job of operating the golf course. And Tim, you could,
The golf course was set up to fail, in my opinion. They stopped putting the necessary funding into the maintenance of the golf course. I can tell you right now from first-hand personal experience, there's one lawnmower that was used daily over there that is from 1989. So when you talk about the golf course looking like shit, considering what they had to maintain it, I mean, you can't exactly expect to.
Well, here's what I could tell you. As an employee that works out there, and during the election, I actually had city employees taking pictures of me on the equipment because I'm working for $13 an hour. There was no special interest to me except caring about making that golf course better when it went to the lease.
We heard it all already. We already do that.
And when you talk about the equipment, I think we're working with the same equipment that the city did. And guess what, Tim?
Look,
you can go out there now.
Give me 1 minute. Dave, I got people blowing up my phone. If you can, let's give you one last thing to say on here.
Michael wants
hang on. You're going to. We'll get to you, Mike. Call in, Chris Fortin, whoever else wants to call in. Dave, are you still with us?
Yeah, let me just say this, and I'm done. Thank you guys for letting me. Look, we put millions of dollars into that pavilion, millions and millions of dollars. I think it's time to start privatizing. We had our kids all last summer over here, didn't even have a big pool to go swimming in because they didn't have the money to take care of that. But yet we're taking care of golf courses.
People are screaming it on Facebook, brother, saying the same thing, privatization. We need to do it.
That's crazy.
Ice rink is privatized, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and so let me respond to that. We've privatized the ice rink. We've privatized the stadium. The guy that runs that stadium in 2018 had 220 baseball games in that stadium. If the city was running that stadium, which they did, and I could tell you from experience at Niagara University used to rent the stadium. They had to cancel games because in order to get the field, we had to call in, get overtime, which Niagara couldn't pay on a weekend to have someone come in and because they didn't want anyone else raking the field. And that's one of these workforce rules. The one thing I don't ever want to do in this city is cut any jobs. I'm a firm believer that we need all our employees. But when we look at these contracts, one of my biggest things, forget the salaries, forget the overtime. If we could change some of the workforce rules and kind of compromise on some things that might reduce overtime, that might maybe be more beneficial for the residents of this falls. And I think that's what we have to look at is some of these workforce rules that are in these contracts. For example, when you look at the police, we don't have an auxiliary police department. And I think someone said it on this show a couple weeks ago. We go to these fires and everyone's seen the fires and we have to have a police car parked there for hours upon hours blocking traffic.
And secure a scene in case it's an arson.
Where if you had a group of auxiliary police, seasonal employees that maybe work downtown, those are things I think we have to look at doing.
Absolutely.
To help both our union workforce and trying to keep costs down. And I think that's just a matter of talking to people and working with the unions to try to figure something out.
All right, so I don't know if Dave hung up or if I hung up on him, but Dave's gone. The phone line's open. If somebody else wants to call in real quick and get a question for John, I'm a strict believer in our show has to stay entertaining, has to stay upbeat, and it can't go over an hour because that pisses me off.
Well, and it's past my bedtime. I got to get home for pizza and beer. So
all right, you guys heard that? Everybody's going to John Spanbauer's house for pizza and beer.
But let me go back to privatization, and this isn't. So we privatized the stadium, which was one of the best moves the city ever made.
Wrong number.
And when you look at having
wrong number. Sorry, guys, I'm talking. No, sorry, John.
No, when you look at what this gentleman has done with the stadium, not only has he run tournaments that brings people and stay overnight, he's done a great job with the maintenance of that stadium. So that's a success story where it was a burden to the city. And we didn't have the city didn't have the resources to operate it properly. They didn't have an event manager at that stadium. And what I'm learning is I don't think government is in the business of running a business like the stadium and the ice rink. And I think those things and the golf course, I think, are all better to be privatized. Not everything privatized in the city, but those three items there, I think they're going to be better off being privatized. And got to remember, Tim, and I'm only going on what the controller said during that time that I was supporting the golf course being leased out. And people got to remember, the golf course is still owned by the city. It's just being leased out. We were losing $300,000 a year. Now, I heard, well, that's playing with numbers, but that's what the controller said. We were losing $300,000 a year operating that golf course, you know.
Hey, John, I have a question for you about the public information officer. And there are votes, you know, there's a lot of people feel that Bill Kennedy has a lot of integrity because he'll vote an unpopular vote like he did with the well, a couple of times. But he's done that. What do you feel like? Say with the public information officer, why did you vote for that?
Oh, real simple. I supported that position 100%, and I still support it. And here's why. We have a new mayor that is running a $100 million business. I want to support him in everything I can do to support him in his first year of operation to see him succeed. I was not going to be a blocker for a PIO position that he thought he needed. And also, when I looked at Troy, New York, Binghamton, Troy, New York, go at the Troy, New York website.
That's called Troylet.
Well,
it is. My daughter lives there.
Go on their website, and I've told people, see what their PIO does for their city. Okay, it's an amazing. They put advertisements about every city council meeting. They put advertisements about every meeting there is. And I envision our PIO being more active than what it currently is. And I supported it for that reason. Now,
yeah, where
you
are
envisioned
they?
it being, you know, you're right. I get it.
I envision it doing a little.
So it didn't go as planned.
But got to remember, again, I'm going to give this PIO a chance. We hired the person, I think 2 months ago.
Right.
There are some things that are coming out with social media that I think are good. You know, do we need to do more, Peter? And we talked about this. I think, we need to do more. There's
a tremendous amount more. You should hit the ground running in that position. Yep. It's not a mystery. It's not like you have to build a house.
You know, me and Peter, we kind of took offense that you could have had us easily.
Yeah.
Well, I see what Peter's doing. I don't know. He's always on the technical side. But that's my so I've been in council 10 months. There's really only been two difficult decisions: the PIO, which was and the STR.
Have you met the PIO?
I've met her once. I had a meeting with her. Yes,
I know she's an NU grad. Where did she come from? Like,
why is she posting things 6 days before an event that gets scrolled by and gets passed up? You know, social media is the new thing. If she is a POI officer or whatever you're going to call her, why is she not up to date on using social media marketing? I guess that's the question you need to ask her. And why? You know, it takes 5 seconds to put up.
I got to be. I didn't hire her. Okay. I don't know what her qualifications are.
I know she went to NU, and there were some other things.
She went to NU. You know,
when I say you hired, I didn't mean it was in general.
But let me talk about the STR, and I think this is really something I thought that could have changed the way the city worked. What we did is we had an STR. The mayor proposed putting a district together downtown area. I thought it was a little different thought process. But what happened is we had a group of very concerned STR owners that were really a great lobbyist group. And they went to the planning board. They came to the city council meetings. If I had to do that all over again, what I would have done, because I've talked to people. So I talked to many people that didn't understand the STR business. So I would sit down there and go to Tim. I go, Tim, do you understand what an STR is? Normal citizen. He goes, no. I go, well, here's what it means. A person can buy the house next door to you. You may never have a neighbor again. It could be turned into an STR, and guess what? It's not going to hurt the neighborhood. They're going to make the house better, but it's going to be a rental property that you're going to have turnover in people. Most of the people I talked to said they did not want that. And I thought we had an opportunity to do something different in this city for frickin' once to do something. Let's concentrate in downtown.
Be ahead of the game.
But what we did, and again, like I said, if I had to do it over again, I would have had a group of people that I talked to, and I would get lobbyists together to say, this is the right thing to do for this city. But I was new. I listened to people, but I thought we as a council, for the people that supported that, we didn't do a good job of getting our supporters at those council meetings and speak up about the STR and the benefits of that STR. And that's my own opinion. I could be wrong, but that was my opinion. You know
what? Let me just. We have. I think 180, almost 200 comments. Coming through on our Facebook page. When you get a chance to go back through them and read them, Tim, go back through and read them.
Absolutely.
Everybody here. But what I want to do now is just take 1 minute. And close on this. It's something for everybody to think about. Do you remember when we were proud to be from Niagara Falls? You guys remember that? Do you remember when we were proud, and we grew up here and everybody talked about Niagara Falls this, Niagara Falls that, everybody kind of got along a little bit better. Everybody did things together. How did we do it before, and what the fuck happened, now?
And here's what I could tell you. And you asked, I'm still nervous about this city, but I'm still proud. I'm still proud to be from this city. I'm still proud to be a part of this city. I'm proud to be on the city council. I'm proud of all the people in this area, especially the community service organizations that serve the less needy in this area. We have a lot of great community service organizations, and I'm proud of that, okay? And you guys doing stuff like this, it shows you care. We have people to care. We just got to get going in the right direction,
Good. Peter?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to get, I don't have anything to close off with. The only thing I was going to show you was, I wanted John to see this because it's an image we showed on our show one time. This is the calendar on the Niagara Falls City website. At the time you held the meeting, no one showed up to. There is no mention of that meeting.
No, there were 6 people.
Yeah, right. But I heard that there were 3 that Kenny said that there were 3 that normally come and 3 others. Now, there's the 19th. You can see it on the lower right-hand corner. Not even a mention of it on the city calendar. I mean, this is basic stuff. This is not stuff you have to, it's not a surgeon who has to learn years of experience.
I guess that's what I'm getting at. And for someone that's making, how much is the PIO position?
A low
40 grand?
It's about 40 grand,
yeah.
Damon said about a 20 grand raise.
That's low paying.
That's what the justification I heard.
Oh, okay. You were being sarcastic. All right.
I have people in my union, my coworkers that make less than that have been with the city for more than 20 years.
That's what gets me. For 40 fucking grand, why isn't she doing her job? And listen, I understand that. Yes, I agree with you.
Well, and I think I called in, Peter, about this. And here's
right.
It is our role, and we had a conversation. I actually sent an email out to the council members. When there was criticism about and I was disappointed. It was my first council in the community meeting. We only had 6 people. And here's the platforms we have to get the word out. Like, my goal is at those platforms to talk about some of the things I did here tonight so people understand. We as a council, I'm not sure we ever gave the PIO any information about these council and the community meetings. It's our role to give that information to the PIO so we can get it out.
But it was on Facebook 6 days ahead of it that she had put up.
Well, let me ask you this. My question is, why do you have to give her the information when you have a Facebook page yourself? Why can't you just put it out yourself? Why do we need a middleman? Why is this a necessary position? That's
and here's
ridiculous.
Here's what I think that we need to do at the next one. We all need to use our personal pages to get the information out.
Absolutely.
And Peter, as you said that, she didn't. I was the one that gave her the information about us having a council in the community meeting, and I only gave that to her like on Wednesday before of that Saturday.
Actually, I think I can find it in Facebook even before that. I think it was Tuesday or we counted 6 days ahead.
Yeah, we counted 6 days before.
Well, whenever it was only because I gave her information because we wanted to get information out.
So why is that not on every source? Why is that not on the city calendar?
You know what? I think that this is, maybe we're just getting you, and planting a subliminal message in your head now that you get it too. Also.
We know you're not we know, and we're not just cutting you slack because you're new to this. You've been around the university for years, John.
Yeah. Chris Fortune.
Yep. What does he say? So why is she here?
Why is she here? Right.
Maybe the mayor knows. I don't know, but
Coffee with Chris is well attended. When Chris Vocio has his Coffee with Chris things, he's active on social media.
coffee with Chris. And
why
listen,
don't we
I
have
like
him
cognac
do it?
with
I mean,
Spanbauer, personally.
listen, I'd rather have Jack with Jill or
His
something.
once I
Nature
get-
walk was well attended.
Once I get comfortable, it's going to be suds with Spanbauer.
Right on.
Beautiful.
We're with you.
That works.
But I mean, these things. Just because you got a PIO, why do we need a PIO? There's councilmen that Chris's nature walk was well attended. I'm
Yes.
sure.
And again, we could go
Kenny's
back and
walk
forth
with
about
the firemen. I mean,
we can go
why
back
do we
and forth
have
about
to
the
have
PIO.
a middleman? That's
I think
all it is.
I
John,
think it's going to be
the
a
only reason we're
beneficial
talking about you
position.
about that,
Good.
that position is because you voted for it.
Well, we want to have you back on, John. And
I
Tim,
still
you're
support
always
it.
on. We love it. But
Well,
I just
listen, I would
wanted to
support
ask.
it if she was doing her job, brother.
Okay,
Give it
I just
time.
want to ask
Give it time.
Renee though, because she's been kind of quiet tonight.
I'm listening.
But yeah, I know you are, and just now you're watching interaction between various people within a city. What's your take on all this as our wrap up?
I'm glad that they're out there. They're out there interacting, and I'm enjoying a lot of the comments.
She's reading all the
We've
comments.
created
Yeah.
quite a community in all of the
Yes.
shows
Yes.
that take place here.
Yes, they know.
Well, Renee's going to be with us for the foreseeable future. We're proud to have her. So
Oh, thank you very
And
much.
I want to give a shout out to Tim. And you know, we may differ on some different viewpoints, but here's when I talk. Forget about him being a city employee. He's an educated voter, and he knows the topics. And
That's the best
and,
comment I've ever gotten. I'm educated now.
And
That
we
would give a big
we
head.
need people like that.
Yes.
You
I
know,
agree.
we
I agree.
need people like that.
And he cares, too.
Yeah.
I thought that you gentlemen were very professional tonight
Yes.
and very informative.
Well, we were not in any cage match. And, you know.
No.
Damn.
Even gonna be
Damn.
I would have liked to have seen that.
I'm gonna have to
but,
bring.
maybe
I'm
next
gonna have to
time.
bring Eastside Dave on with you.
jello.
Oh my Lord! You know, it's funny. You hit a mute button to allow conversations to take place. I'm not on the audio desk, but when I do, I can feel that mute button exploding there. That was Dave, and I'm watching the
He's
channel
passionate,
bursting.
guys. So we got to.
We love Dave.
You
No,
know,
he's
I
great.
tell you,
Yep.
Eastside Dave, he's passionate. He
Yep.
cares about the city.
yep.
Again, he has different viewpoints, and I've spoken to Eastside Dave a lot, and I think he's a person he's vocal, and that's great. We
I
need
think
people
he's
like
right
that.
though, and we'll end on this. Is that the 30% increase, and really that's what it was. It is a
right.
killer on the older.
It was a killer and everything. Man, I live in the city. I pay taxes.
Well,
in
I've
the
seen
city
that a lot
too.
of
I mean,
landlords, and we'll talk about this more. We're seeing a lot of landlords now are putting the tax on their tenants.
Well,
maybe
yeah,
that's a
they
good
have
idea.
to.
Fuck it. All right, I'm out.
All right, so thank you, everyone. Don't say anything while we close off the microphones, but we'll leave you with Tim's song, okay?
Right.
All right.
Oh Jesus.